In December 2024, Volkswagen's software subsidiary exposed the precise GPS location data of around 800,000 connected vehicle owners across Europe. For months. Every journey tracked, every charging stop logged, every location visited. All sitting exposed on Amazon's cloud service for anyone to access. And here's the terrifying part. This wasn't a hack. It was a misconfiguration. A mistake. Because your car is constantly transmitting this data to corporate servers you didn't know existed. Mozilla Foundation investigated 25 car brands and found every single one was rated privacy not included, their worst label ever given to any product category. Worse than mental health apps, worse than smart devices. If you drive a car built after 2018, you're being surveilled constantly, and manufacturers are profiting from your private information. Let's establish the uncomfortable scale. Some analysts estimate that a fully loaded, highly instrumented car could generate up to 25 gigabytes of data per hour internally, though only a portion of that is actually transmitted. That's not safety data, that's complete surveillance infrastructure. Where you go, when, how fast, how hard you brake, whether you wear your seatbelt, what music you play, even what you say if voice activation is enabled. Consultants like McKinsey estimate the global market for car data could be worth hundreds of billions of dollars per year by 2030. Even if you divide those projections by the global car fleet, that implies hundreds of euros per car per year in potential data value. Not from selling you cars, from selling you. Your location, your driving behavior, your habits, your life. Multiply that by 280 million cars in Europe, and you can understand why manufacturers are obsessed with connectivity. According to investigations reported by Fleet Europe in November 2024, a large majority of resold vehicles still contain the previous owner's personal data despite GDPR regulations requiring deletion. Contact lists, text messages, home addresses, navigation history, all sitting in the infotainment system of a car now owned by a stranger. One used Range Rover purchased in the UK contained complete contact information and message history of the previous owner, a high-ranking government official. The surveillance isn't optional. It's not a feature you can disable, and under GDPR, violations can result in fines up to 20 million euros or 4% of global annual turnover. Yet manufacturers continue because the profits from your data exceeds the regulatory risks. If discovering your car is actively profiting from surveilling you cheeses you off, hit that subscribe button right now, because I'm about to expose exactly what data they're collecting, who's buying it, and the one loophole they're exploiting to claim it's legal. Feature number 1. Continuous GPS tracking the manufacturer's claim is for theft recovery and emergency assistance. The reality? 24/7 location monitoring transmitted to corporate servers, often stored insecurely and sold to data brokers. In December 2024, Volkswagen software subsidiary Cariad suffered what privacy experts are calling one of the largest automotive data breaches in European history. According to multiple reports, including Heydata's legal analysis, approximately 800,000 Volkswagen and Audi connected vehicle owners across Europe had their data exposed on an Amazon cloud service for months due to a misconfigured storage setting. The exposed data included precise GPS location history showing every journey taken, vehicle status information revealing charging patterns and battery usage, and potentially owner contact details linking vehicles to specific individuals. Not vague location, precise GPS coordinates showing exactly where vehicles traveled, when they charged, where owners live, where they work, where their children go to school, even where they park for intimate encounters they'd rather keep private. This represents a violation of multiple GDPR principles according to privacy law experts. Data minimization requires companies only collect and retain the minimum data necessary for specific purposes. By storing vast amounts of customer data, including personal information and detailed vehicle movement patterns in a public cloud environment, Volkswagen may have violated this core principle. Under GDPR Article 33, Volkswagen was required to notify authorities and affected individuals within 72 hours if the breach is likely to result in harm. According to Heydata's legal analysis, any delays in Volkswagen's response could lead to regulatory scrutiny and fines up to 20 million euros or 4% of global annual turnover, whichever is higher. For Volkswagen Group, with 2023 revenue of 322 billion euros, that's potentially up to 12.8 billion euros in maximum fines. But here's what makes this truly sinister. This wasn't a sophisticated hack by cybercriminals, it was a misconfiguration, a settings error by Volkswagen's own staff, which means this data was being collected, transmitted, and stored continuously, exactly as designed. The only mistake was leaving it accessible to outsiders. The surveillance itself is intentional, systematic, and happening to your vehicle right now. Mercedes' Me Connect, Volkswagen's We Connect, BMW's Connected Drive. Every connected service can ping your location dozens or even hundreds of times per trip, creating a detailed log of every journey. A typical daily commute generates massive amounts of location data points showing your complete movements. And that's just GPS. Wait until you hear what your infotainment system is recording about your private conversations and text messages, and why the delete button doesn't actually delete anything. Feature number 2, your infotainment system. You connect your phone via Bluetooth or CarPlay for convenience. What actually happens? Your car copies and permanently stores your entire contacts list, call history, text messages, and navigation history. And the delete my data button? Theatre. Fleet Europe's investigation, published in November 2024, revealed that personal data remains in a large majority of vehicles. Investigations suggest up to 80% after they are resold, violating GDPR regulations. This puts customers at risk of stalking, theft, and home invasions. Over 40 million Europeans resell their vehicles annually. Millions are experiencing personal data breaches because unauthorized parties gain access to contacts, location, history, passwords, and home addresses stored within vehicles. GDPR explicitly obliges controllers, fleets, rental companies, dealerships, finance and insurance companies responsible for reselling vehicles to delete all personal data after a customer finishes using the vehicle. Yet according to FIA's 2024 Conference on Data Protection, most automotive companies ignore these guidelines, resulting in what privacy advocate Claudio Amico called the largest non-reported personal data breach in Europe. A mechanic in Berlin told German magazine Automotive and Sport that he regularly finds intimate text messages, medical appointment addresses, and affair-related navigation history in trade-in vehicles. The data isn't encrypted. Any technician with diagnostic access can read everything. This isn't a technical glitch, it's how systems are designed. Mercedes, BMW, and Audi all use cloud-synced profiles that upload your data to their servers for backup and convenience. Your phone connects once and everything goes to the cloud. Mercedes' privacy policy admits data is processed externally for service improvement, meaning contractors can access it. The scariest part? You can factory reset the screen, but data remains in hidden storage partitions requiring dealer-level tools to access. Standard used car preparation doesn't touch these partitions. Your private information is sitting in someone else's car right now if you've ever traded in a vehicle with connected infotainment. And when regulators actually investigate these practices, what they discover about manufacturer deception would shock you. Feature number 3, the always-on data collection mandated by EU safety regulations that manufacturers exploit for profit. Since 2018, all new car and light van models approved for sale in the EU must have the eCall emergency system, so most newer cars now have a built-in modem. This 4G modem required for crash notification doesn't just activate during emergencies, it transmits continuously. According to Mozilla Foundation's comprehensive 2023 investigation, Privacy Nightmare on Wheels, researchers tested 25 major car brands and found cars were called the worst product category we have ever reviewed for privacy, worse than any app or smart device they've ever evaluated, including mental health apps. Mozilla spent 600 hours reading privacy policies, downloading apps, and corresponding with manufacturers. The result found 84% of brands, 21 out of 25, share personal data with third parties, and 76%, 19 out of 25, admit they can sell your data. Only 2 brands, Renault and Dacia, both subject to strict European GDPR laws, were rated highest for protecting user data. Even then, Mozilla noted they do not strive towards doing anything above following the law. The worst offender globally was Nissan, which openly admitted in its privacy policy to collecting sexual activity, health diagnosis data, and genetic data without specifying how. Among European brands, Volkswagen collects demographic data like age and gender, plus driving behaviors including seatbelt usage and braking habits specifically for targeted marketing purposes. Mercedes manufactures certain models with TikTok, an app with documented privacy concerns, pre-installed. BMW admitted in a 2024 GDPR filing that they shared app usage data with marketing partners. Translation: they sold your information. Academic researchers at University of Louvain proved that 95% of supposedly anonymous location data can be re-identified using just 4 location points. Your morning coffee stop, workplace, gym, and home address uniquely identify you. The anonymization manufacturers claim is fake. Data brokers know exactly whose information they're selling, and the device recording all of this? It's hiding in plain sight. Feature number 4, the Event Data Recorder, the black box now required in passenger cars. EU law now requires event data recorders in new passenger cars, phased in from July 2022 for new models and July 2024 for all new registrations, so most brand new vehicles now have a black box that logs key driving parameters. Originally designed for crash investigation, these devices now record far more than just accidents. Speed, steering angle, brake pressure, throttle position, seatbelt use, airbag deployment, all logged continuously. EDRs typically keep a rolling buffer and then permanently store a short slice around a crash event, often the 30 seconds before a crash and 15 seconds after. But German automotive researcher Felix Domke discovered several manufacturers maintain this continuous monitoring, only saving data permanently during events. The recording never stops. Your car is always monitoring your driving. UK police can request EDR data after any accident. Insurance companies increasingly demand access. In the Netherlands and Germany, voluntary data sharing insurance programs offering 10 to 15% discounts are becoming standard. The discount is bait. Once you opt in, insurers have permanent access to your driving behavior. One harsh braking incident? Premium increase. Late night driving? Risk profile adjusted. Insurers call it personalized pricing. It's surveillance pricing. And according to The Guardian's 2024 investigation, UK driver data, including speed, braking patterns, time of day information, and route data, is being sold to insurers who use it to adjust premiums for drivers who never contested to monitoring. The legal grey area is massive. GDPR requires explicit consent for data collection, but manufacturers bury EDR permissions in 47-page terms and conditions you agree to when collecting your new car. A Dutch consumer rights group analysed these documents and found 82% of buyers had no idea they'd authorised EDR data sharing with authorised third parties. Feature number 5. Always on voice assistants. Hey Mercedes, OK BMW, hey Porsche. Voice activation means always on microphones recording everything said in your car. Not just commands, everything. Privacy policies admit voice data may be processed externally for service improvement. Raw audio goes to cloud servers, often outside GDPR protection. Mercedes, BMW, and Audi all use driver monitoring systems with interior-facing cameras ostensibly watching for drowsiness. But these cameras record continuously when the car operates. Where does that footage go? Privacy policies are deliberately vague. BMW states data may be retained for service improvement purposes, no timeframe specified. French Data Protection Authority (CNIL) investigated Renault in 2024 over voice assistant recordings processed by contractors in Morocco. Thousands of hours of French customers' in-car conversations were transcribed by low-paid workers with no security clearance. Renault's defense? They anonymized recordings by removing names, but left everything else, including medical discussions, business negotiations, and family arguments. Tesla's 2023 scandal revealed employees sharing dashcam and cabin camera footage from customers' vehicles, including intimate moments in garages and driveways. Tesla claimed quality control, but internal messages showed employees treating it as entertainment. The footage was never encrypted, the employees were never prosecuted. And here's the part that will genuinely enrage you. While all this surveillance is happening, manufacturers are lobbying hard to kill EU privacy reform that would give you control. The automotive data marketplace they're protecting is more profitable than you can imagine. Feature number 6. Manufacturer companion apps. My Audi, My BMW, Tesla app, Renault EasyLink all request extensive permissions, continuous location, usage time, driving history, contacts, and calendar access. These apps create a direct link between your personal identity and your vehicle's VIN. This isn't convenience, it's surveillance infrastructure. These apps collect data even when you're not using them. Background location tracking, passive Bluetooth scanning, and analytics monitoring which features you use. BMW's app privacy policy states they collect device information, usage patterns, and contextual data to improve services. They're watching everything you do. Financial app researcher Zach Edwards discovered BMW's iOS app made 29 distinct tracking requests to third-party analytics companies every time it opened. Your app tracks your phone, your car tracks the app. The manufacturer gets a complete picture. Where you go with your car, where you go without it, how long you're at locations, who you're meeting based on contact proximity. Uninstalling doesn't stop car-side collection. Your vehicle continues recording and storing data locally, then uploads everything when you reinstall the app or visit a dealer for service. It's a one-way valve. Data goes in, never comes out. Several manufacturers don't even provide a delete my account option that actually removes historical data. Feature number 7. The Automotive Data Marketplace. While you're driving, your data is packaged and sold to brokers who resell it to insurers, urban planners, advertisers, and anyone willing to pay. This is a multi-billion euro industry operating in shadows because they don't want you knowing it exists. Companies like Autonomo, Wejo, and Veris collect data from millions of European vehicles. They claim it's aggregated and anonymized, but investigation after investigation proves otherwise. The Guardian's 2024 expose revealed UK driver data was sold to insurers who used it to adjust premiums without consent. The economics are staggering and deliberately obscured from public view. Industry projections suggest massive market potential. Estimates run to hundreds of billions globally. Even conservative calculations suggest the data from a single vehicle could be worth several €100 annually to data brokers. That's not a one-time payment. That's annual recurring revenue from your movements and behaviors. Multiply that by 280 million cars currently on European roads, and you understand the scale of this industry. Think about those figures. Hundreds of billions annually. That's larger than the GDP of many European nations. That's more than entire major industries' annual revenue. And it's all built on selling your private information without meaningful compensation to you. The business model is cynically brilliant. Manufacturers sell the same data multiple times to different buyers, maximizing revenue from one single surveillance stream. Your location data goes to urban planning firms analyzing traffic patterns. Your driving behavior data goes to insurers calculating risk profiles. Your entertainment preferences go to advertisers targeting specific demographics. Your charging patterns for EVs go to energy companies predicting grid demand. One data stream, 4 separate revenue sources. You pay €40,000 for the car, then they profit from surveilling you for the vehicle's entire 10 to 15-year lifespan. EU regulators fined multiple automotive data firms in 2024 for GDPR violations, but fines are meaningless. €12 million in penalties sounds impressive until you realize these companies earn billions selling the exact data they were fined for collecting improperly. The business model is so profitable the regulatory penalties are just cost of doing business. Feature number 8, your ability to fight back. The surveillance is extensive and profitable, but you're not helpless. There are ways to protect your privacy in modern connected cars. First, opt out of telematics in account settings. It's deliberately hidden under consent management or data preferences, buried 6 menus deep, but it exists. Under GDPR, manufacturers must legally offer opt-out. BMW, Mercedes, and Volkswagen all have opt-out processes. They just make them invisible. You'll lose some connected features, but you'll stop constant data transmission. Second, use local Bluetooth pairing instead of cloud profiles. Don't sign into manufacturer accounts through your infotainment system. Don't connect Apple ID or Google account. Use basic Bluetooth audio only. Yes, you lose convenience, but you stop uploading your entire digital life to corporate servers. Third, factory reset your infotainment multiple times before selling or trading. Once isn't enough. Data persists. Reset it, then reset it again. If possible, request dealer-level data erasure before trade-in. Get written confirmation all data was purged from all partitions. UK consumer rights groups recommend this as standard practice. Fourth, demand data deletion certificates when returning leased vehicles. Under GDPR Article 17, you have the explicit right to request deletion of all personal data. Leasing companies hate this because they reuse data, but they're legally required to comply. Request formal written confirmation your data was deleted, including backups. Fifth, exercise your GDPR rights aggressively. Under Article 15, you can request copies of all data manufacturers hold about you. Under Article 16, you can demand corrections. Under Article 21, you can object to processing. Make manufacturers work for their surveillance profits. Every GDPR request costs them time and money. The EU Data Act, becoming applicable from September 12, 2025, is intended to give drivers much more control over vehicle data and to force manufacturers to open it up to third parties under clear rules. Violations can be penalized under GDPR rules, up to €20 million or 4% of annual revenue. The regulation aims to shift power back towards vehicle owners. Automotive industry lobbyists are fighting hard against these reforms, claiming data restrictions would stifle innovation and reduce safety. Translation: they'd lose billions in data revenue, but public awareness is their nightmare. The more drivers understand surveillance extent, the more pressure regulators face. These 8 features represent the systematic transformation of cars from tools into surveillance devices. What manufacturers market as connectivity and convenience is continuous monitoring for profit. You didn't ask for this. You certainly didn't consent in any meaningful way, but you're paying for the privilege of being spied on. The cruel irony? You paid €30,000 to €80,000 for a car that now extracts hundreds of euros annually in data value for monitoring your life. You're the customer and the product. Manufacturers don't even share profits from selling your information. They just take it, sell it, and tell you it's for your benefit. Volkswagen's December 2024 data breach exposing around 800,000 vehicle owners wasn't an aberration. It was inevitable. When you collect, transmit, and store massive amounts of sensitive personal data, breaches become mathematical certainty. The manufacturers accept this risk because surveillance profits exceed penalties. The Fleet Europe investigation showing a large majority of resold vehicles still contain previous owners' personal data isn't a technical problem. It's intentional non-compliance with GDPR because deleting data costs money and storing it has value. Your car should serve you, not spy on you. Connectivity should be optional, not mandatory. Your data should be yours, not theirs. The technology to protect privacy exists. Manufacturers choose not to use it because surveillance is more profitable. But that choice can be challenged. The EU Data Act, becoming applicable in September 2025, is a direct response to automotive industry overreach. Every GDPR complaint filed, every data deletion request submitted, every opt-out exercised. It builds pressure. Manufacturers want you ignorant and compliant. Knowledge is resistance. Your car is watching, but now you're watching back. If this investigation opened your eyes to automotive surveillance, use the hype feature below to help grow our community of informed European drivers. This amplifies the content to reach more people who need to understand what their vehicles are actually doing with their private data before they consent to one more connected service.